What is up and welcome back, and I'm real hyped to bring you this performance review. The one is going to be a new hoop shoe from New Balance. It's going to be called the Fresh Foam BB V2, and as you know, this is going to be the sneaker that Zach LaVine wears, and that guy can jump out the building. So this shoe definitely is going to be very good if you are a high jumper. Going to have you cover all throughout. So with that said, let's dive right into the performance review. Definitely, I do like this sneaker. I love the looks. Okay, when you do put it on, it is going to feel very comfortable. You are going to get this plush feeling to it. Not overdone, but it still has, again, if you know what you like. I do like a shoe that's plush, that has somewhat thick materials. So that's going to be the type of sneaker this is going to be. As you can tell, you do have a whole bunch of different cutouts and overlays. It's going to be a suede material. You see right here a textile type of mesh, somewhat firm, right, closely knit. You see that again right here on the side, and again a bunch of different overlays cut out and extra stitching all throughout, especially right here in the middle where the New Balance name is at. Extra stitching. You see the different types of cutouts. Okay, so you are going to get a lot of extra material on top of each other, different layers. So that right there is going to give you that plush feel like I mentioned, but you're also not going to have the best breathability because you have all these layers. Even though you do have a whole bunch of ventilation holes, you can see it right there down the middle and on the tongue, the upper portion. That we turn it around, you can see the ventilation holes are only going to be for this area right here. Okay, for this middle section, you're going to have an extra material underneath, so you're not going to have a whole bunch of ventilation. But I do like that the tongue is disconnected. Okay, so you are going to have some air escaping through here along the sides and the top. So for the most part, you are going to get warm in this sneaker, so that's something you can expect. And you know what you like. If you can handle a shoe that gets somewhat warm, then this could be a great pickup. But if that's something you don't like, then maybe a different choice is going to be better. Okay, but I do like the aesthetics. I love this colorway, different types of vibes. You got the salmon color up top, light pink. Okay, I love that they put all this extra material on top of each other. New Balance on the side. And I do like the quality of the laces. I like these smooth laces, right? I just wish they were a little bit more wider, but these get the pass as well. The only thing about it is that when you are tying up these laces, make sure that you do a double knot because they can come undone. Okay, and with it being like that, you are going to get around a 9 in the lockdown with it coming undone and loosening it up. So as long as you're doing the double knot, making sure it's nice and tight, you can maintain that 9.8 lockdown for the ankle. Okay, hardly get any movement whatsoever when it's that tight, and when it's a 9, it does slide up and down. Okay, so it just depends what you like. I don't mind double knotting or making sure it's tight and it doesn't hurt along the middle at all also. So all those things are going to be big pluses. Also for the heel area, you do get a very nice heel counter. You get this one on the outside. There's a close-up, and then you have an internal one. That's going to be around this tall. Okay, you can feel it right there. Moves down over here like this. Okay, that's a very nice sizable amount. Okay, so love to see it for stability and support in the back. Also, I do want to point something out. With this material, it is going to be a suede and synthetics that we mentioned, but yet, because the bumper is not too high on the side, when you are going from 100 to 0 and stopping, you can have some rollover. I did feel my foot sliding over to the side. Okay, so that could have been avoided with a little bit higher bumper, but that means when you're actually running and picking up a lot of speed, that extra material can slow you down. It's going to be more material making contact with the ground, so it can slow you down. So you're really trying to get up there, you don't want to have extra material along the side, so you can just be as fast as possible for the takeoffs, for getting height on your jump. So that's going to be that detail right there. Just watch out if you are very shifty and have a lot of power on your stops. If you're not that type of player, then that's something you don't have to worry about. You're probably not even going to notice it. So that only applies to real shifty players that have footwork and, like I said, really stop like that on the side. Those punch drags, quick change of direction all of a sudden. But if you do have good balance, that right there can be a minimal issue, and that's something you have to worry about. But if you don't have good balance, then that is something that you can think about if this is going to work for you. If you're starting off but you like being fast, you might feel you're a little bit off place, right? You might feel you might tip over even. But if you are an advanced player, then that's going to be a non-issue. You are going to feel it, but it is going to be a non-issue because you have strong legs, good core where you can just stop and keep going. Now for the cushioning system, you are going to get a lot of Fresh Foam X. You even see it right here with the name. It is, you can see it looks to be a sizable amount, but you actually set a little bit lower in the sneaker around here. Set a little bit lower. So you're not going to have a whole bunch of Fresh Foam caging your whole foot, right? Like we talked about, you're not going to have a very good side tall wall, somewhat narrow right here with the Fresh Foam. You sit somewhat lower, right? So it's going to be a strip like this, and then it moves out a lot more thicker. But it is very soft. So definitely with this one, when I practiced jumping as high as I could, landing in the front, in the middle, and the back, you feel 100% covered all throughout. And your landings are very soft. So I love to see that. So if you are trying to get out there, trying to learn how to dunk, I specifically got this sneaker because I'm going to be doing a lot more training for jumping. I am trying to get out there higher than what I usually do. So this is going to be a great pickup for that. This is going to be the insert that you get. It is going to be somewhat thin. You do have a sock liner on the top of it, so that's going to help the sock from not sliding. And it is going to be a regular Ortholite. So nothing fancy, something simple. You do get a little bit of compression, but like I said, it's not going to be anything spectacular. It's just something regular. And for the interior, you are also going to have a very soft strobo board. You can see it right there. Okay, we'll do the light effect so you can see it a little bit better. And this one right here does feel very soft, kind of clay feeling to it, but it is going to be a foam type of material. Okay, and I do like seeing these type of strobo boards inside the hoop shoes because definitely it does help out with the landings. So as you can tell, you got that insert, which is a very light layer, then the strobo board, very soft, and then all this Fresh Foam X cushioning underneath. So that is going to be a very dynamic setup for jumping high. Love to see it. Now for the traction, this is where you're going to have the spiral pattern all throughout. And it does an excellent job with gripping the ground, especially on a clean court. Really grips, you can see it, that there is some flex to it. I like it. It does stop on a dime on a clean court. When there's a little bit of dust, it can handle it also, but it does accumulate some dust through time. And when that happens, it does sort of slide, but then it stops all of a sudden. So it's good that it's not going to be one of those sneakers where it just slides once the dust accumulates. It still holds that grip, but it slides and eventually stops. So just make sure you're wiping from time to time because you don't want to have those one-offs. Okay, it's not going to be something where you feel you're going to fall. It's just a little bit of extra movement and then it stops. Now if you are thinking of using it for outdoors, it's also going to be adequate. It's strong enough, and the pattern, definitely with this type of pattern, you're not going to feel that you're going to chip off a lot of the traction off. Even though, like I always say, if you use a shoe outdoors, it is going to not last as long. Definitely for indoor, this is going to last a lot longer. And with this particular colorway, you have to watch out for outdoor play because it can get dirty a lot easier. And suede, of course, not the easy material to clean. So have that in mind if you're going to take this one outdoors. But it can definitely handle the conditions out there, and the material is thick enough, is layered enough, has a lot of material stacked on top of each other, so it can definitely handle that outdoor wear. Don't want to forget to mention, also has a shank plate underneath. You can see it right there. Very supportive. You definitely feel it. I am a wide footer and also have flat feet. And this right here, I didn't feel no pain, very adequate. So if you're looking for that type of protection, you're gonna have it. That arch support is going to be there, and you're also gonna get a little bit of energy return with the shank plate. So that's gonna do it for this performance review. It is a sneaker that a lot of players can use. It has enough thick material for somebody that's a lot more heavier in weight. Also, it's very good for high flyers. You have a lot of support in it. Very good for gripping the ground. You are shifty. You don't get the most ground feel, but you get enough of it where you can feel that you can move fast in it. And just be wary if you are a little bit of a very shifty player and have power on those stops. As long as you're aware of it, then you can compensate for it. So I feel it's not something that can be a drawback. And like I also mentioned, if you're not too shifty at all, then that's not even going to be an issue, okay? So definitely a shoe I recommend. It brings a lot to the table. The price tag is going to be 130 USD. And for the weight of this sneaker, for a size 8, it is going to be 13.30 ounces. I like to play around a 12 and a 13, so they're just going to be a slightly bit over. So it is going to be great weight on your feet. So that's gonna do it for this video. Now you have all the information available. It is going to be a solid pickup for you, and I do recommend it. Like I mentioned, if you got something out of this video, please sub and like. I am a smaller channel, so every little bit goes a long way. We'll be back next time with more. Until then, peace and much love.